No. So the fun part is like I have to like see where it goes.
It'll be exciting.
Okay, it says that we're live. So, hello everyone and welcome. We're here at the Magical Travel Adventure podcast, which is also on our YouTube channel. And today is the 50th episode of my podcast. And for the 50th, I needed a huge guest, like the biggest guest ever. So I have Kevin from What is Kevin Up To on YouTube, and he is here today. So hello, Kevin.
Hi, thank you for having me. Congratulations on 50. That's awesome. Right in
Thank
line
you.
with Disney's 50th anniversary, so very
I
cool.
know. It's so
Exciting.
very exciting.
Yeah,
And I actually heard Kevin on another podcast, and he was an amazing speaker.
thank
And
you.
he actually got asked back on the podcast right as the shutdown was happening
Yeah.
to kind of help cheer us all up. So if you're ready to be cheered up, Kevin is here to cheer you up.
I'm going to do my best.
We started off with some really fun stuff off camera. So I've really warmed him up for everyone.
Oh, stop
So
tears in my eyes.
I know I'm that good. I can bring
You
tears
are.
to your eyes. So, the reason Kevin is on is because he has some amazing ideas about bringing the magic with you to Disney World and instead of expecting the magic to find you at Disney World, which is such like a weird concept when you think about it.
Yeah.
Because so many people think, like, I'm going to Disney World, I just expect the magic to happen. We have to bring it too to receive
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. You got to bring a little something for them. The cast members, in my mind, or just I believe they don't get paid enough for what they do, and they're like dedicated. And they need appreciation. They need a little something. They need a wow factor as well. And I really think that's so important to do that because, my gosh, I mean, yeah, they really do. I mean, it's heartbreaking because, well, one of the things that you and I were talking about, and I'm just making a lot of noise, but what I like to do, and this is something I do every time that I go to Disney, is I actually have some of these older buttons. This was an older button. I make these. Well, I get the images off of Google, and there we go. And so
Look
these
at
are things I give to the cast members, and I let them know that they are appreciated. So that's one of them, and this is the one I created before. Again, I just got Mickey, of course, off of YouTube. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if that's coming
I'll
through.
read it because it's also a podcast, so I guess people aren't seeing what you're st
Oh, that's yeah, duh. Yeah, sorry, podcasters.
So
Sorry.
thank you for the magic. You are appreciated. And there's Mickey, and he looks super happy, like he's about to give everyone a hug. So it's a perfect pin. And I think that that's nice because it's like a good thing to show people
Yeah,
and give.
I love doing it, and the thing about it is, there was, and this is one thing I will never forget, is it was late. We were at the Magic Kingdom, and it was when Mickey was talking at the time. He was very animated and was talking and that sort of thing. And I remember coming out, and there was two cast members, and it looks like they were just having a conversation. You could tell that they had a bad day, or at least I could sense it. I don't know, And I went up to him and I said, "I know this may not mean much, but you know, I hope this day will make you better." Handed him this button, and I said, "You are absolutely appreciated." And the one cast member was in tears at that point. She goes, "You have no idea how much I needed this." And I think that really sends a message that, um, they don't get treated well a lot of times. There's that entitlement. So I wanted to do something that, brings a little joy for them because they just work so hard. And, being that performer all day is physically exhausting. So just that little bit can go such a long way, I think. And I think it's so important that we do something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're just wonderful.
When did you start doing this? When did you start
Let's
or
see.
coming up with the idea even that you should start bringing things with you?
That started, let's see, on when John, my son, was 6. That was our first time going, and I saw Disney through his eyes again. He was like I was, a child myself. And I started to see some of the cast members look a little like tired and worn down. And, people were just being really cranky to them. And I said, the next time I'm going to create these buttons for them. Wanted to give something back, something that will say, hey, you know what, you are appreciated. This is something that, and this was around just after, well, no, actually we were there. Let me think. It was right before the Streets of America closed down. So the fact that we were able to walk through this studio by ourselves, that was like the coolest thing in the world to me. I don't know why. I just think walking down this street and you hear like this jazz music playing, I thought, okay, this is actually really cool. Walking down through that, and I noticed that this one guy was just berating this cast member. I'm like, what is wrong with this guy? And so I walked up to her and I said, I'm so sorry that happened. He goes, oh, no, don't apologize. Don't apologize. I said, no, you deserve to be treated better. You are appreciated. And I hope you realize that. And it was at that moment I thought, okay, we need to do something. You got to let these cast members know that we're thinking about them. So, yeah, that's when it actually started, was the second visit about maybe a year and a half, 2 years later when that started taking place.
Okay. Now you don't just do like these little buttons because
No.
I've seen what you've done.
Done some things. Good things. Good things. I like to interact with characters. That's one thing I absolutely love because I want them to be surprised. Because they're always doing their thing, they're playing the role, but I want to do something really, really, really different. And in fact, I've got a couple of things here. Okay, so this is one. Now, what I've done is, let me see if I can hold it up here. I created these instead of like a regular autograph. I wanted to create something a little different. So what I ended up doing was I created this mini file folder, and it looks like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So it has top secret all over it. And then when you open it up, though, and this is what I love, is that it has the mission on one side, and it says, subject, in this case, it's Tiana, and then the mission is build a restaurant empire. And I have it last seen at the following location. So these are coordinates to where she is in Magic Kingdom. And then underneath I have where it says mission confirmed, get autograph. And so Tiana went ahead and did it. Now the other side, though, let me see if I can go here a little bit, is I created the comic book frame, but the artwork like Tiana, I pulled that off of Google. So thank you, Google. These are my thumbprints right here that I put on here. And then I designed the top secret. So what I did was not only did I give this to Tiana, who was very surprised. She was like, what in the world? I ended up creating buttons that match the comic book cover that's inside. So I gave one to her, and then I kept one for myself. Now I actually have copies of all of these that I've created. So for example, I've got a whole box full of them. Mulan, Mickey, Donald, and oh my gosh, it just goes on. And this one here is Chip and Dale. And so I made sure that I got those guys. So all of them are, this was the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. version. And then I did something a little different. So with Edna, because Edna, I think, is just sassy and fantastic. Love Edna. She's so sassy. So what I did was I created this, what looks like a standard portfolio. Now, what I did was, though, I created this GQ cover. Let me see if I can get that in frame. There we go. So I created this GQ cover, and I gave one to her, and I had one for her to sign that says cover approved, signature request. So she signed it. So she's on GQ, and when I gave her the copy, she actually put it on the wall behind her. Now, what was so funny was that this was done during my solo visit in 2000, about maybe 3 weeks before everything closed down. The rumor was that it was still up there right before the pandemic hit. So I don't think it's there now, but that's the rumor, that people saw it after the fact and was still on the wall, which I thought, okay, that's kind of cool,
Yeah, that is really cool.
And then the most recent thing that I did that caused a little bit of delay. I have never met Anna and Elsa, not once, but because it was my solo visit, I thought, let me go ahead and do that. But what I did was, of course, I have an autograph, and it says top secret, Disney Product Designs pending approval. So what I did was, of course, me being me, giant spaz, I created these cereal boxes. And so what I did was I actually saw something similar. So I was a professional photographer. I since got out of it, but I actually took this photo of the cereal milk, and this was a blank box. And then I just photoshopped, in this case, it's Mulan Huny, Huny flakes. And I put even the like the nutrition information on the side and what have you. And what was funny was that Mulan just loved it. She thought it was great. So now this is where things get really fun, is when I showed Elsa hers, she actually got this big smile on her face. Now, for those on the podcast, this says Enchanted Forest Flakes. And then, gosh, I can't see what it says. Oh, a cereal so good, you'll never let it go. I know. I'm sorry. So when I was showing Elsa this, she got this big smile on her face. And I said, well, Anna is here too, right? And so Anna's has crunchy Cristal flakes. It's the next right thing. So Elsa started smiling and walked over, or rather, Elsa walked over to Anna, and they were both going through this book together and just kind of looking at it and smiling. We're having a conversation. Never mind that there's people who are waiting for her to see it. Well, the three of us are just like getting together, like, yeah, and then, and then I had so many, let me show you Olaf, there's Olaf, and there's he. And then Olaf says his cereal is Summer Samantha Flakes, now with even more Samantha marshmallows. So that's the one that I did there. And we're just having a great time with this. And, I'm looking over, and there's a lot of people kind of they're like looking at the door, like, what is going on over there? What the hell is going on? Even the cast members are like, what's going on over here? And they all of a sudden, there's this big group of us kind of going in. Now, I did create buttons for this, and I couldn't find the photo, but I was going to show it to you. But I held it up, and Anna was like, and it looked like I was proposing marriage to her the way that because my hand was covering up the button. I was like, I was like this, I was holding it like this, and, you couldn't see it. And people thought, did he just propose to her? And so she had this like look on her face, and it was so funny. But the one thing, poor Belle. I'm like, oh no, wait, it was this GQ magazine. That's the one. This is the one that I got it mixed up. This is the one that was hanging up on the wall. So I Googled. So it's still a GQ cover, but this one was far better than the other one. So this is the one that I put on, Edna put on her wall for that one there. And then it says actually exclusive chat with Edna Mode, step out in style, the must-have super shoes, Minnie's new fashion line, get more from your superhero workout, special no capes edition, which is at the bottom right there. But Belle, oh gosh, let me tell you what happened with Belle. Me being French, my heart went out to her. So her cereal box says, be our guest with our Oopsie Daisy LaFleur flakes. So this is her cover. And the thing about it is with Belle, she saw the front, which says top secret, Disney product design pending approval. She looked at it, looked at me, walked away from me and went to like a supervisor cast member. And because she thought it was real, she thought this was like a real thing. And I see the manager going, flipping through the pages. I'm like, oh, it's like, okay. And signature. And then they started to realize, and the supervisor came over and she says, do you work for Disney? I said, no. This is just something I designed. I just made this. And I held up the button of that. So here's a button of it. She's like, oh, okay. Belle, you're fine. Come on back over. I was like, holy crap. So I will say I almost got in trouble though. 1 year. I almost got in trouble because I was making these IDs for myself. And I had, like, for example, I have them. I don't know where they are, but this is one ID. This is for Pandora. And, it's obvious it's fake because I have this stupid, look on my face, but it looks like an ID badge. And I also had the Ace shirt that I made, from Cricket. And so I had the lanyard and I had the shirt, and folks were like, wait a minute, is he a cast member? But the trouble almost came in where I had an Epcot, you know, badge that was sent like, I can't remember. It was something, obviously it was bad. It was just so ridiculously absurd. But people were coming up and asking me questions. Like I worked there and I'm automatically using this Disney point going here. And then I thought, oh crap, people think I work here. So I had to take the lanyard off because I thought, oh, this is not cool. I'm gonna get in trouble. But the one thing that I did do that scared Woody and Buzz was that this was I don't know what happened to the lanyard, but I made a button out of it. So Al's Toy Barn staff store manager, and I made an Al's Toy Barn shirt, so it looked like it was from the movie. And I walked up and I had my lanyard and I had the shirt, and they were like, stepping back and and they say, well, we have new management. And Buzz went, Woody went, and Jesse went, and it was so funny because the cast members kept saying, how's the store? So they were like, how's the store doing? I said, oh, it's good under new management now. And it was just fantastic. I mean, it's those little moments like, oh my gosh, how can you not have fun with this? You got to have some fun, bring something a little extra to it all. And so I also make shirts where I try to have a conversation starter. So, for
Kevin likes to talk to people, if you didn't realize that.
I am very shy. I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone. So this is one, excuse me. This is one that I'm making for my Hollywood Studios trip. And if I could get that, there we go. So I love doing things like this because I want to get I like to have that interaction with folks. So this was a hard shirt to make, but it's going to be really fun. And I have
for those of you listening, I just can tell you it had Baby Yoda and some other guy on it.
The Mandalorian. Sorry, I keep forgetting about the podcast. Yeah. The guy with the
and that I know
helmet.
nothing about Star Wars.
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
So how do you even come up with this stuff, though? How do you come up with these ideas?
It's funny because I try to think about okay, what did I do last year? And I try to think of something that has never been done before. So this time, because of the social distancing, I didn't even really give it much thought. But if I was to actually do something, I would probably go with, like a billboard or something. Something that is just so, yeah, like a billboard type of thing, where there would be the billboard would be from left to right, and then they would sign the bottom of it or something.
I thought you meant literally carrying around.
Oh, I probably would if I could get away with it. I'm sure they would probably have nothing to do with me. See, don't give me ideas because now I'm probably going to try that. I probably would. Yeah, I'm thinking, that's actually a really good idea. Maybe I could make a small one, like this, just something that, see, now we're on to something. Now you give me some ideas. I'm gonna have to try.
I don't really understand crickets either. But maybe you could make some sort of stand for the billboard too. Then.
There you go. See, yeah, because I was even thinking now you have me thinking I could get a 3D printer. Right.
Okay, sure. Yep. Are they different?
Stand, right. Yeah. They're like Star Wars,
I don't understand these things. You people are very creative and you can create from your hands, and I cannot.
You just have to give it a try, right? For example, I'm going to scoot over this way for the podcast
fine.
folks. I'm actually scooting out of the frame. I'll show you something that I made. I stole this idea. I need to put hinges on it, but I stole this idea from Michaels. This is a memory box idea that I stole from Michaels. That was they want $25 for just a basic box. I'm like, you know what? I have some wood at home. I'm just gonna, trim the edges so it looks like it. But what I've done is I've made this lid where I have my memory box. So I decided to put Marie because she's French and sassy like me, and so and then I put 2019 to 2023 because I have so many of these boxes. I don't know where I'm going to put them all. So and they're pretty. They're pretty tall, but there was something in here. Oh, these are the, oh, wait a minute. Hey, I found it. Look, I'm so tickled right now. I'm tickled myself. Look what I found. I would not have found this without you. All right. Look at this. I am so tickled for my Listen, podcast folks, I'm sorry.
Watch the video.
Just watch the video. Seriously. Okay, so I found the lanyard. This is absolutely brilliant. Okay, so there is Al's Toy Barn. I can't believe I found this. So I actually created the lanyard for that. Oh, here's the Epcot one. Okay, so this one says official World Showcase greeter. Oh my God. This is what almost got me in trouble.
You even have a barcode.
Right? Isn't that great to have all the Epcot, symbols and what have you? There we go. That looks better. So you can see that. And I mean, how would Disney really allow that kind of face to be on any kind of ID? I'm like, really? And so then I have oh my gosh, this is so ridiculous. The Haunted Mansion. And I'm volunteering to be the 1000th Happy Haunt. So this was a lot of fun to make. And then, oh gosh. So this one, funny story about this. When I went to meet Mike and Scully, I was so tickled because I had my Monster University student ID. And so I have the Human Student Exchange Program. And then, of course, I'm 2319 safe. And they looked at this, and I'm telling you, the cast member laughed so hard at that. He just thought that was just the greatest thing in the world. And Mike and Scully thought it was kind of cool. So, mission accomplished.
Definitely.
And then this ID really didn't, I don't know. I kind of wish it was just kind of ridiculous. I don't really, this is not one of my favorite ones. Kind of an honorary cast member, but not really, for Magic Kingdom. I felt like I needed more than one because I was visiting the parks multiple times. So I just created these two. So one for one day, one for the other day, because just like us shoes, you can't wear them twice in the same place.
Especially not at Disney.
Right. Exact. People will watch. They'll know. But this one is my absolute, this tickles me. There is an actual Mulan Chinese restaurant. That's a real thing. And I was looking for a Chinese restaurant because I was, kind of tired. But there's the badge for Mulan's Chinese restaurant. Head best boy, fighter of the Hun. My Mulan, she loved it, and I was so tickled. I just so was like blushing right now, actually. She's amazing. And if you are curious at all about these other ones, I'll just show you real quickly if you like. Hopefully, I'm not taking up too much time. Oh, there's my Mulan right there.
Oh yeah.
So Mulan,
and she's your favorite. So
she is my favorite. I love my Mulan. I adore my Mulan. My goodness, I have a whole wall full of Mulan. Merida. So, I make these buttons for, Merida. Merida was shocked. She was completely shocked. So that is Merida's there with her. And again, I made the comic book, but then I found Merida online. I did not draw her. Just little things. I'm trying to think. There's another one. I think I have. No, that one's terrible. Goofy as Iron Man. Or Pluto, rather. That one's kind of lame. I just want to show you the good ones. I don't want to show you the crummy ones. Yeah.
Judging your own work.
I am judging my own work. My gosh, these are horrible. Now I look at it. My gosh.
I want you to know that you're probably the only person that's ever done this. So
I'm tickled.
Love that, Donald.
Yeah,
my husband would love that.
Yeah, I'll have to.
Captain America.
You know what? I have to see if I can find this file. I'll print it up and send it over. I'll have to see if I can find that. I'm sure I have it somewhere. I feel like I have it somewhere. But yeah, oh my gosh. So yeah, there are a couple things that I always recommend for folks to do. Oh, here it is. And that's the Edna Mode. That was my pass to her. Fashion photographer, former Cape owner. She was not happy about that. But the employee was A113. There was one thing that I really recommend people doing, and a lot of people don't do this, is keep a copy of the guide maps. And I know that sounds kind of silly, but this was the 30th of Hollywood Studios, my favorite place. But a lot of times, those can be valuable by itself because so many things change. And that's one of the things I really love doing is to, let's see, for example, for this one, there is, let's see. Yeah, you don't see.
I'm trying to find my 50th.
You see, I need to get a 50th one myself.
Yeah.
So, there's Grand Avenue, but you don't see Star Wars, Galaxy's Edge.
Which I know so much about.
And I've got so much crap to show you. I'm so tickled right now. Yeah, I'm really tickled. That was a lot of fun to do. I really, really enjoy just, I don't know. I like to make people smile. I think that's one of those things that I really just love. Oh, there it is.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. See, that's what I
So
need to
yeah,
get right there. Yes, that's amazing.
yeah, that
Oh,
was
look at that.
so it was only
See.
for that day, and it's extra sparkly.
Oh,
I don't know, my
see.
lights are making it.
Oh, look at that.
Okay, I don't know which way to go.
I know, right? Because we were doing that. See,
Is
that's
it
what
up? Is it
it
down?
is.
Which
It's
way
right
is
in
it
the, there
going?
you go. It looks wonderful. Oh, I
But
love
yeah,
that. Look at that.
so
Yeah,
yeah,
that's definitely
and it has
something
the
that I
date.
love.
Like this one is a special one because it has the date at the bottom.
See, that's like a huge, and
So
your nails match.
I know
That's even better.
I
That
did it
makes it
just
fun.
just for this.
Just I love it. I love it. That's fantastic. That's so cool. I'm
Yeah.
loving that. It's a
Yeah,
lot of fun.
that is a really good idea. And I think it's like just like when you think about it, I mean, hopefully autograph books will become a thing
Yeah,
again in the future.
love that.
But just you can totally make your own. You don't need to use the ones that cost $20 when you get there.
Right, exactly. And I think it's like a fun project for kids to do, before
Right.
they go to give them a project, get something fun to do, something that they made, and they can show it to their character. And, that really creates that fantastic moment that they have something to talk about. And they can really show off, yes, I did this. And like, wow,
Yeah.
this character I really love, liked what I did. And that just, that's how can you not love that memory? That's like the best ever. And I think that's really fun to do too, something that you can do with your kids or they just like, I have well, this book here was like $3 on Amazon, if that. I mean, I think it was a lot less than that. But just to have kids be able to do that, what a great idea, just and like you said, that those books, I think, man, they get really expensive really fast. They
Mhm.
really do. And then next thing you forgot a pen. So now you got to bring a pen, then you have to buy one and, that kind of thing. And it just gets to be a lot of money. So I always prepare. Well, what I like to do is at least when I kind of think about the visit and I think about, okay, who would I like to go see? And, and I think about, okay, what would work? And I found that a Sharpie works really, really well on those autograph books. Yeah, they bleed through a little bit, but you can have a character on one page, you flip that page, start with the next page. So that way, if it bleeds through, it won't go to the next one. So those are things that I've always found really helpful for me, at least.
Okay,
Found it really
so
helpful.
if you're someone like me and you're not maybe as creative as you, where could someone start to either bring something for a cast member or um, I guess we kind of talked already about autographs, but so what could someone do to bring to a cast member or if they wanted to make it a little special for a cast member?
Oh, I have seen some really, really cool ideas. There was someone who actually brought like a little like miniature version of the character. They went to Target and they spent like what, $2 or $3 or something, and they actually brought like this little like keychain or something. So it's like these little things that, like the dollar store, for example. I saw Minnie and Mickey and Pluto and Goofy, and I remember seeing those. And then I saw someone giving like these little things, and they were like, "Wow." For the characters. Now, for the cast members, I've seen a lot of different things where people, one little girl just like drew a picture and then gave it to the cast member. So it's like those little things can really go a long way. I tend to overdo everything all the time. I'm like going all the way overboard on stuff. Like, I mean, these buttons, for example. But the nice thing about it is when it comes to like buttons, the place where I order these are called wackybuttons.com. And you can actually design something right on their website. So if you want to give pins, they already have clip art that you can just, pop on there and, make your own thing too. If you wanted to do like a button, but you're not feeling real comfortable about creating your own design and then uploading it. But, those little things you can do. And they're actually really reasonable. I will say though, if you do want to go with buttons, and so I will show the size comparison. I think I had one that was way too small. At least I thought I did. I'm sorry, I'm looking and I don't see it. This is a quarter, 1 1/4 inch, one and 1/4 inch. These are
Okay.
just the right size. 1 inch is way too small. So if you do decide to go that route, the 1 and 1/4 inch works perfectly. Because I've actually seen them put them on their like pin trader
No.
thing,
Lanyard.
whatever that's called, that little like lanyard or the little cloth thing that
Oh,
they
yeah.
have around their belt, that sort of thing. So yeah, there's I mean, like there's so many little things that you can do that you kind of think about what strikes you? What are you really good at? And what are some things? Because everyone is creative. I mean, everyone has that kind of creative type of thing, whether, if it's just like a small drawing or, something that, you're gonna like really kind of put some time and effort in. But I also, for me, I have to remember that you want something that's simple, something that they're really going to look at and go, wow, someone took the time out to just think about me. Um, because like I was saying, the cast members, they don't just get it, they don't get any kind of appreciation, especially most recently with this whole, pandemic and the fact that, people are, they're cabin fever, they're really just they think everything's going to be perfect when you go to Disney, the rest of the world, doesn't exist. And it's like, no, everyone thinks that you're not entitled, Biff. Everyone paid the same amount of money as you. Stop yelling at these people who are just trying to make your day brighter. So any little creative thing, I think is just perfect. Anything that comes from the heart, that's what matters. That really makes a big difference.
That's very true. I know that in the past I've made like I've just gone to like Staples and I've gotten like stickers
There you go.
and
Yeah.
then we just like handed out stickers. And even that way we like handed stickers out to like, if we saw a kid crying or something like that,
That's
or something like
wonderful.
that. So yeah, I mean, I think it definitely like adds some magic because you're so excited because you're like, oh, I get to go like after this ride, I can like give this button to a cast member. I can go show this person this, or I can, brighten someone's day over there.
And it makes such a huge difference. And you can always look at the person who's like having kind of an off day.
Mhm.
And, I walk up to that person and they still look like they had an off day, but it seemed like it mattered a little bit.
Right.
Um, and there was gosh, what was it? Oh, it was Goofy, when he was at, Dino Land, they were in that carnival outfit, and there was one gentleman who just looked exhausted, and I, gave him the button, talked with him, and he said to me, "You're the first person that's ever given me anything." I said, "Really?" He says, "Yeah." And he put that pin right on his, on that belt,
The
that
belt.
little piece of felt, where the pin
Yeah.
trader, and he popped it right on there. Well, come to find out, he's from Australia, and I have family in Australia. And come to find out, they live in the same city.
Oh,
And a little bit further, we found out that some of their friends may know some of my family. And I was like, what are the odds of this exactly? Because I need to figure this out and like get a lottery or something. I mean, like, come on. Uh, but it's just like those, just anything itself. Now, Donald, um, I think Donald knew me. I feel like Donald knew me because I've never received such a hard hug from anyone in my life as much as I did with Donald. And I'm fairly confident that Donald knew me because that was a long, hard hug. And I'm like, I'm not that attractive to begin with. So I know it wasn't anything that was like, like, hey, come here, handsome. No, not even close because come on. But I felt like I know this Donald for some reason. And they were trying to like, let me know that. I'm like, I don't know who this person is, but they know me. I can tell because just the way they do it. So I gave Donald the Captain America, and it was funny because Donald was trying to hold it on his nose, but it kept falling. So, but it was really, really funny. And so the surrounding, because I like to include all the cast members. I mean, if you can include them all, because there might be 3 or 4 cast members there. So I want to try to ensure that, do I have enough buttons for everybody? That kind of like that,
right.
did you bring enough for the whole class kind of thing? And it's still like stuck with me forever for some reason. But yeah, that was an interesting moment with Don. That was, yeah, that was something. I'm like, oh man. Well, hello, Donald.
Well, that's so It's good to have all these experiences and to hear like what people do because I think that that makes a difference when you go to the parks because I think especially now for like I'm also a teacher. So, for
Yeah.
18 months it's been put on your mask, wear your mask like this.
Very hard.
Um
Make sure it goes
s-
over your nose, not below your nose, kind of thing, right? It's like, are you kidding me?
Right. And as we transition out of that time, I think it's
Yeah.
like, okay, but then you can't come at me for like all these other things. So I think any little touch that you can do for a cast member, a character or whatnot, it's
Absolutely.
greatly, greatly appreciated.
Yeah, they just, I mean, I don't know what it is. I don't know if people just are so fed up and so angry at the world because this happened, and they think that going to Disney is going to just change everything. They're going to be like everything's going to be magical, but I don't think people have the right expectations.
Right.
That yes, you are now in a world that you can. For me at least, when I go to Disney, that's the only place that I can go, and I don't think about anything. I mean, nothing. Someone could call and say the house is on fire. It's like, okay, I'll check it out when I get back. You know, I mean, it's just that kind of thing for me. But I think also just from perspective of it all, that if you are going to go to Disney, be flexible. Understand that things are not going to go. You can't have the schedule. Well, when we go rope drop, we're going to hit this ride, then we're going to run over. You can't schedule it because there's no magic. Yes, you're paying a ton of money, obviously, but think about the memories. Do you want good memories or do you want angry, frustrating memories because you couldn't get all the attractions that you wanted to go? So I was like, just plan ahead. Just have those one or two. Like for example, when I was on my solo visit, I went on Everest expedition 8 times in a row. I mean, I literally got off. I ran. I mean, I'm literally running to the single up rider line, and the cast members looks at me and goes, "You really like this ride?" I said, "Come on, come on, let's do this again." And he says, and then he would say, "Does anyone want to sit next to a really odd fellow who likes Expedition Everest?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, come on, this guy." I've made so many friends on that ride, um, and I still talk to them today. Even now, I still talk with them, and it's hysterical. And it's those little things. Don't feel well if you go on a solo visit or solo trip rather, I should say, be prepared for people to look at you and feel sorry for you when you're eating alone because I was sitting at this table in Yak and Yeti, my favorite restaurant, and it wasn't that busy. It's kind of a big table, and I see this family looking at me like, "That's so sad. He's by himself." And then there was these amazing. I mean, these three young ladies said, "Would you like to sit with us?" I said, "Oh no, no, I'm fine." "Are you sure you're by yourself?" And I said, "You are so wonderful." One of them even gave me a hug, and she goes, "It'll be okay. I'm really fine. I chose this. I chose to come by myself. I promise." Thank you for the hug. That was delightful. But I I
I do
I
have
did
a
this on my
family.
own. So I'm like, "I'm okay. I promise I'm okay. My son is at home. He's waiting for me. Everything's fine." Yeah, and it was really, really funny, but the expectation aspect, I think, is something a lot of people forget about, you know?
Yeah.
I really do, and, I think also also the angry father syndrome. Kids are tired, their feet are gonna hurt. Don't yell at your kids. I know you're frustrated, but please don't yell at your children, my gosh. Yeah, but there's so much. I mean, I could talk about this for days. Um, there was one thing that I always like to, just to mention that, um, I don't know how to say this. I'll say this most diplomatically way I can. Don't expect something from Disney. Don't expect to get that free Yum Yum cookie or whatever it was, because I actually got one. Uh, because with Edna, I was, doing a photo shoot with Edna, and she was twirling, and there were people outside looking in, and they were just like, "What's going on?" And Edna had that photo, the GQ, and she was knocking on the window trying to show Mr. Incredible. Mr. Incredible saw it, he went, like this, and people were gathering. I thought, "Now this is fun because, people are gonna remember." So the cast members were loving it. I was trying to include them in it, and just because I like to make people smile, and I think if more people did that, How much fun would that be? So, and I walked out, and the cast member says, "Here, come here for a moment." I thought I was in trouble at first, because how often do you have a cast member go, "Come over here"? I'm like, "Oh, crap, what'd I do?" And she says, "Stay here for me." And I thought, "Oh, I'm in trouble. I don't know what I did." But she comes back with this yum yum cookie, and I thought, and she says, "You just made everyone's day." And I thought, what? And that thing is like big as my head.
Yeah.
I mean, I could not finish that thing. I mean, I that took me like 3 days to finish. Um, but I thought that was really kind of cool. But that's one thing that I think a lot of people will assume. Oh, I'm at Disney. You know, I expect something for free.
Hmm.
No, you can't.
No.
But I did get a free mug. Um, when I checked in, I went to. Do you want me to tell this story? I don't know if I should tell
Sure,
you this
you can
story.
tell
Okay,
the
all
story.
right, because we're going to be here for like all night, because I got so many. But when I was checking, I went to the All Star Movie Resort because I didn't really want to stay in anything high end because I'm just gonna sleep. So, and I wanted to see something a little bit different because I visited a lot of other hotels on property, and it was an anniversary of me beating cancer, and the cast member said, "Are you celebrating anything?" I said, "Yeah, I beat cancer," and it was the compassion was just like overwhelming, and we were having fun and just joking around and pushing each other in the bushes, so to speak. And then we were laughing and just joking around. The manager comes up and he says, he has this big smile. He says, "Hey, do you want some stickers?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want some stickers." He said, "We're supposed to be giving these out to the kids, but we kind of forgot." And a sticker pack this thick that he gave me. So I said, "You know what? I will give these out to kids when I see them." Here comes this creepy guy handing out, stickers to kids. And so, and so the cast member said, "Do you like Star Wars?" Which made me laugh that's why I was laughing so hard when you were talking about the Star Wars. Well, they had the Star Wars limited edition tumbler. And so she walked me to what do you call it? Um,
Shelf?
what's like not the cafeteria,
Oh, like the store where you can buy things?
the lunch area, the
Food
court.
court?
Food court.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I
okay.
was thinking. Food court. Haven't been there in a long time. Uh, and she takes me over and she says, "Hey, give me one of those mugs." I'm like, "What? What's going on?" She goes, "This is for you." And I thought, "What?" And gave her a big hug, and I'm like, and so it's those, and I never would expect anything like that at all. In fact, I loved it so much. I haven't actually used it because it meant that much to me. And I thought, this is absolutely incredible. So, I'm not out there looking for things, but it's more about just the kindness aspect of it all. And it's just one of those fun things, you just try to chat up just the cast member. Don't ask for things, just genuinely be nice, and you're gonna find that you're gonna have a great trip, and it's gonna be a lot more fun because you're just being genuine. And I think that's so important. Something we just forget a
I
lot,
know. I
sadly.
I never expect anything when I'm there. I just, I'm
Yeah.
just trying to have fun and enjoy myself. Like, the
Just yeah,
going is the enjoyment.
exactly. Yeah, and I kinda think about, like, okay, what 'cause all right, nerd time. All right, here we go. I can't believe I'm gonna show this to you. Oh my gosh. This is bad. Okay, so every time when I go to Disney, I buy one of these planners. This one happens to be, what is this? I wanna pet all the dogs, and so they're, like, the different dogs on top. So what I do is I literally use every tab for every aspect. Like, for example, I have one for general thoughts. Then I have one for each park, what I wanna do, what is my contingent plan, all this kind of thing. I mean, this is ridiculous. Start of planning, what I'm gonna do. I mean, it's absolutely nuts. But this is actually fun for me because, I will literally put ideas of what I would like to do. But I also use this for planning for photography, because there's very, very specific shots that I would like to get. So the one thing I tell people all the time is, look, if you're going to take photos, great. Please don't hold your iPad up when you're taking, for fireworks, because why? Stop doing that. That's ridiculous. I mean, you're going to hold up this iPad. You can't even see. Well, guess what? You can just hold it in front of your face and you can still see the fireworks.
Or you
So
could put it down because you spent all this money to see the fireworks in person, so
thank
watch
you.
them.
Yes. You can watch the fireworks on YouTube. I mean, that's what it's there for, right?
There are people
Um,
who, like, it's their professional job to take those videos, so you're not gonna
I'm
compete
doing
with
it.
them, so don't bother.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And the one thing I do say, and this is one thing I always mention every single time, take a minute and just look around you. Don't
Mhm.
run from Pandora to Cali River Rapids. Stop and look at things because you're going to see these little details that you're going to miss. And I'm guilty of that. And I go back to my solo visit where I actually was just taking my time. I went to, uh,
It's gonna be a Star Wars thing.
actually, there was something out of Star Wars, but I thought about this because I've never been to I've never been on Flight of Passage. And I thought, well, road trip, I'm going to run over to Flight of Passage. And it was a really cool queue. I mean, it was great. One thing I didn't realize though is that when you're in line, there's like really wide, hallway.
Mhm.
And I wasn't expecting this at all. It looked like a bunker, for heaven's sakes. And there was someone who said, "Do we have a single rider?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." So she told me to go to 83A or I mean, whatever this long number was. I'm like, what? And so she kind of pointed me like going here. I was like, oh, so there's these numbers above the door. And so I'm going up what I think is like 100 million steps. And I finally get to this room. And then everyone is staring at me going, oh, you finally arrived. I'm like, I am so sorry. And so there's this preview show. And of course, me being shy and very delicate flower that I am, uh, the I was talking with the cast member and we were just chatting up. And he missed his cue because we were chatting. And he says to me, he says, "Yeah, sorry, Kevin messed it all up for everybody. So everyone thank Kevin." They're like, "Thanks, Kevin." And keep an eye on him. He might lick something. And I could not stop laughing. And it was like these just funny things. And so we went into the Flight of Passage, and someone said, "Hey, keep an eye on Kevin. Make sure he doesn't lick anything." And the woman next to me says, "I'll keep an eye on him." And I just could not stop laughing. Everyone in that row was just cracking up. So that's a story that's going to be mentioned at least once. So just have that casual conversation. Just let your guard down a little bit. Oh
Right.
my gosh! And so when the next people came in, Matt said, Did you lick anything?" I said, "I licked everything." And then the guy behind was like, Matt turned around, I was like, "No, he's kidding." So I, tweeted to Matt and say, "Hey Matt, thanks again, man." And it was so much fun. So just relax, just be flexible, stop and look around because when I left Pandora, I went over to Expedition Everest, but I was noticing these small details that I completely missed around that Mount Expedition, Expedition Everest area. Like, just little details, like, the bicycle with all the different flags on it. The temple, there's a little shrine
Mhm.
right above the entrance where you go into what was originally the Rivers of Light. I don't think people realize that, kind of look for those things. Everyone's looking for hidden Mickeys, but
Right.
look all around for everything else because my gosh, there's so much that you're missing if you're running from one place to the other and that kind of thing. And take it in, breathe it in. It's really
Yeah.
nice. It's
That
always
is
a
a good.
great thing to do.
Yeah, my son really liked in Epcot the Africa section where he could play the drums and, some
Yes.
other stuff, and, like, that was his favorite part, and, like, we could not like, we would have to go to Epcot every day so he could do that.
You could just do that
Like,
one
that was
thing.
just part of the day. I was like, "Oh,
That's
yep,
always
gotta go do
good. It's like
that."
the simplest things, right? Make the most joy in some cases.
Right, and there
Yeah.
was no line and whatnot, so you didn't have to worry about it, so you worry all this time about, like, the lines and getting on this ride, and it's fine.
It's
Like
absolutely fine. And there's like these little like we were talking about like the details and what have you. There's like these little like hidden things, when you go up to like where Soren, there's that mosaic wall and
Mhm.
I can't remember the story. I can't remember if it's a red piece or a green piece, but it's something that's just slightly out of place. There's a whole big story behind that. And you try as you go up, you try to find it. It's like these little details, but it's the simple things, like you said, just that playing on the drum. My gosh, what a thrill! And that's going to be a memory that he's going to have for ever, which is so
Right.
cool. Makes such a big difference.
I know.
Yeah, it's really cool. I love things like that. It's
Right.
always the simplicity of it all.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you, Kevin. This has been amazing to have you on. I hope
Oh, thank
everyone
you
has
for
been
having me.
enjoying all the great tips, great ideas, and how to spread some magic. So, and you have a trip coming up.
I do, and I do have one suggestion for people
Mhm.
who are going to Galaxy's Edge, because that's one of the main focus that I have. Um, if by chance you accidentally hack the X-wing, and you make it's like, "Hey, I hacked this thing," don't say that, because when Chewbacca comes out and the member of the Rebel Alliance asks who did it, everyone's going to point to you, and then you get in trouble.
Not that you have any knowledge of this or
Yeah, no, no, no. Hypothetical speaking, of
right,
course.
of
Yeah,
course. Of course.
that's right.
Yes. So, Kevin, if they want to follow you, obviously you have your own YouTube channel.
I
What is
do.
Kevin up to? Which I will
Mhm.
put in the show notes.
Well, thank you. I also have a website, whatiskevinupto.net, and that has links to my Instagram, Twitter, and some of my photography, some of my Disney
Mhm.
photography, and some videos, some quick clips, in addition to my video channels, like just real quick little things like making a shirt and fast time and that kind of thing, quick time, stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
All
fun. I
those
love
stuff.
doing that.
Well, this has been great to have you on,
Thank
and,
you. I
we hope
love
to
this.
have you on again another time.
That would be amazing. I would love to share with you some of the things that happened on this upcoming trip, if that would be okay.
Oh, definitely,
That
definitely,
would be
because
really fun.
this will be your first time with Genie Plus too.
Oh, that's right.
I
We'll have
have
to see
some
how that
stuff for
goes.
you. Don't worry.
Oh, good, okay. We will see how this works. I'm
Yeah,
excited to go. Regardless, it's just gonna be fun because, have to have that flexibility, so that'll be really cool.
exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for the 50th episode, and we'll talk to you next time on the Magical Travel Adventure Podcast. Bye.